Hello and welcome to the Coffee Tea Podcast, where we have open, honest and genuine conversation about youth issues. Alafu tunajaribu kuta hizo vitu zote kwa issues of mental health. So leo we have a surprise for you. We have a new host. So leo sitaongea sana, leo nitakuwa tu hapa kubangaiza. So host wetu, introduce.
Okay, thank you so much. Mimi naitwa Peri Sale, najua najulikana. Despite sijui ni wangapi wanajua. Anyway, thank you so much, and today we have a very awesome conversation, awesome people, some faces najua tumekawia sana. So I'll take this time with our guests. They introduce themselves, tell us what they do, and then we can start our conversation. For introduction, kuna mwanga na ladies first. Ladies first.
Tusivunje amri.
Yeah. My name is Fiona.
Okay.
From Arts and
Ladies
first. To introduce kwanza, then to introduce the team because we're
Okay.
there. You know?
Yes.
Okay. Tell Rushi mwenye alikuwa anatuvuta story mbaya.
So mimi naitwa Brian Mcheno. So at Africa's pia. So as Fiona said, we introduce at Africa's, but what I do at Africa's, we support in terms of engaging young people in the community to understand mental health better using art and curating models that help young people look at art differently and using mental health as our turning point for that here.
Thank you for that.
My name is Ivanna Waweru, and as umesema nilikuanga huku kitambo as a psychologist, and I'm happy to be back tuongee story ya mental health.
Thank you. Karibuni sana. Jisikie uko huru or nyumbani?
Zote mbili.
Huru nyumbani.
Huru nyumbani. Because squeeze kidogo uhuru kidogo freedom inaenda ikiisha ikipungua. Sawa. So thank you for the good introduction, and also maybe we can start with Ivanna. If you can tell us what inspired you to be a psychologist.
Interesting. Nilianza kufanya psychology when I was 18, and nilikuwa pregnant. I was a teen mom. That's how I started doing my diploma in counseling. Mamangu alisema atani support nikiendelea na shule. So alisema ingia hii shule. Nikamwambia sitaweza, sasa akaniambia utaweza tu juu sasa siwezi kusupport bila wewe kwa shule. So I started my diploma when I was 7 months pregnant, and I have loved the journey because nimeweza kusaidia other young moms na and I feel passionate about helping people who are moms, but also people who have gone through childhood trauma. Because I realized hiyo journey ilinisaidia kurealize childhood trauma yangu imetoka wapi. Nilienda hapaje nikiwa 18 and pregnant. Ilinisaidia kurealize a lot of things. So I'm also helping others wajifigure out, wa realize mbona wameenda up mahali wako. Nini ilifanyika utotoni ikaleta hiyo problem. So that's how I got into psychology. I love it. Sometimes it's hard, but it's a labor of love.
I can bet it's you love it because it'll be something you passed way mwenyewe. It's not just one of those courses when you tumemaliza form 4 and then you will just pick a course. I want to be a psychologist. Yes, by force you'll be told.
Lakini nilikuwa by the fun fact nilikuwa nimepelekwa hiyo tu mimba tu, hiyo time ya mimba nilikuwa nimepelekwa beauty. Nikamwambia mamangu, nilienda one month, nikamwambia hapa tu watu nikusengenyana, mimi sitawezana. So nikamwambia, ndo akatafuta hiyo nyingine, akasema juu uko na hii shida ya mimba, I think enda counseling usaidiwe ukisomanga.
So do you think in case maybe ungepata mimba maybe ungekuwa psychologist?
No, ningekuwa kitu kingine.
So ungekuwa beautician. Kwa naweka nails. Okay. That's nice, and I'm sure ukiendelea doing that psychologist, it's not something you regret.
No. No, by the way, I enjoy doing it, but I always think maybe ninafaa kufanya na kitu kingine. Juu nimefanya hii psychology, pia inakuanga draining.
Definitely.
Alafu nimefanya since I was 18 till now. however old I am.
Never ask a lady her age. Ungetuambia tu tupige hesabu.
Yes, siwezi. Client wangu ako hapa ananisikiza. Aanza kusema unanifanyia counseling na kona miaka. I always make sure to look a bit older, so.
So that someone ukikuja na take serious. I can tell you.
So I don't like saying my age, but kuna wenye think wanajua hapa.
Okay, that's nice.
That's the same.
We go to art. Maybe you can tell us what inspired you to have that organization. Yeah.
Well, I would want to say I was inspired to have the organization, but I wasn't. It actually came about as a result, vitu kuhappen. Vitu zinahappen to them like what nimefika hapa. Because for me personally, it was from my own mental health journey. I felt a point where the only way I was going through it was by writing. And the more I'm writing, the more I'm drawing, the more I'm feeling like there's some progress. Because you're going to get into some depressive states and I'm not moving at all. And for me, that was helpful. So the more we're doing this and the more we're doing this with friends, the more you go a group. And now we're all talking about mental health and we're all doing art in some way. So that is where it started.
Ah, that's nice. And that's on a personal level.
Yangu pia personal anyway. So Atanfika, for me Atanfika started, my journey for Atanfika started way before Alfajiri. So like Ivanna, I'm a psychologist, a behavioral psychologist. But for me, I think I've never wanted to practice. It's never been my, I think nilienda kusoma psychology kujisaidia.
Nilikuwa nasema.
Nilienda kujisaidia. I've never like practiced, but when I was in campus, I think ever since I've always loved art. And nusia kama kimeshon about kibende. Campus mimi nilikuwa mswa kibende. I think hata finish na kijana tukifanya kibende, kibera. So this dance kibende. My journey started with, I'm a poet at the same time, but my journey started with this journey at Africa and Fajiri started with kibende. I used to do kibende in KU, you know, and it was tunaenda safari.
Kibende ni poetry.
Kibende is traditional dances.
Oh.
Where you wear attires and do.
Tufanyie nini expo? Demonstration.
So, history ni yangu sana. Yeah, so I think from that experience art and just looking at how people like that was the only place I could express myself without feeling like, how was your day? How are you doing? Tell me about your childhood traumas, psychoanalysis and everything else. So art to me was, I can express myself without, because, you know, for me, a psychology ilikuwa, yes, you want to kulipa, but at the same time it was like a healing journey for some of us. And from art I was able to express myself freely. And Fiona can tell you, when we're in the zone, tunakuanga zone. Usibrayo tena. This is a different person. So for me, art has been a tool, like a channel in which I think, or I believe, has helped just define mental health or psychology in a different way for me. You know? And when I realized, so this can be channeled out where, so Alfajiri came into play. So Alfajiri was focusing on art, HIV, SRHR, because not really in space by then, and we were advocating for mental health. So when we met, and one of the things that was like, guys, we have this idea and we want to do something. So the more we did events and the more we had this similar ideas, like, why can't we make this something that is a standing initiative? I think that's how Art and Flickers started. And for us, Art and Flickers was, how do we provide an avenue where mental health already was full of lectures and CG, kujeni conference, terminology. Anytime to get an event, need speakers and lectures. So what we thought of, how can you make this more palatable to everyone? Having that, at least 70% or 80% of young people affiliate to art. That was a good chance. And I think that's when we hit 2022. And then 2023, the same thing happened. So it became a build-up and a movement. So more people are coming for the events, and that's how Tantricas was built. And I think that journey, I just looking at how art, and we all share the same, how art can be like an avenue where I can express myself bila kufikiria venye nani ataniangalia vibaya. Uni msanii anapresent, watujui msanii anajiexpress. And out of that expression, someone else will feel that same pain, same emotion, same. So it's like a universal language that I think came out for me, and that's how I think Art and Flickers has always been using that to reach out to people, just bringing out mental health differently. Yeah. Kuongezea point.
Yeah.
In short.
In summary.
That's nice. Napenda the way we are having this conversation, knowing that we are talking out of from where we started and what we felt. So because we are just talking about mental health, and I know mtu akisikia the word mental health, for me kuna mtu atasema mental health means someone amechizi. Kuna mwingine someone distressed. So maybe in one word we can just, if you hear the word mental health, what pop-ups in our mind? Kama
tuanze hapa hivi.
The word mental health.
The word mental health kwangu, wacha niseme the basic thing yenye nimesoma juu nimesoma sana. Ningekuwa tu mtu random kwa street. Mental health kwangu ingekuwa wale wasemi uona wamechizi. That's the first thing watu ukimbilia. Alafu I think also hii word mental health, sijui kwa hii space venye imekuwa ikitumika, so aujuagi what people are saying when they say mental health. So mtu atasema okay, mimi sijui mental health yangu, as in mental health inatumikaga like a term that expresses good and bad. Instead ya kukua like mimi ni mgonjwa ama mimi ni healthy. So msee akiwa msika atasema mimi niko na mental health. Akiwa kwa sawa atasema mimi niko na mental health. So hatukuwaki very clear as in terms of when you communicate what does mental health really mean. And I think bado our experts, watu wa terminologies, hawajatusaidia kujua. So I guess maybe the best one naweza nikasema at least ujaribu kutumia wellness. I am well, so wellness rather than mental health because it's broad. So for me, mental health ni state yako ya mind. That's what I can say.
Okay.
Okay. For me, naangalia from the kuna scientific background inaingianga tu kidogo. Inaingiza terminology inatoka. So like pia naangalianga the chemical aspect of the brain because pia unajua kuna hizo serotonin, dopamine, kuna venye zikishuka zipande, you will not be functional and your mental health will not be okay. But nikifikiria mental health, to me it's always about coping, like how you coping with life. When good things are happening, uko sawa. When bad things come, how do you cope with that? When you have bad news, how do you deal with that? So the ability to not stay afloat, but to know what to do for you. It's, to me, mental health and wellness is tailored to an individual. It's not a blanket like syllabus. So kidogo, I always have a conflict with therapy and your book unaitanga this year. I'm wondering what is a manual. Nakanga kama manual like umenunua gari haya shika kitabu. I don't know, pia ningetaka perspective on that some more because to me it's very individual.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, maybe just to answer that, is I think the DSM-5 is for diagnosis, which I also don't support because sometimes I feel ukipata label inaweza kufanya now you start acting a certain way and you're not getting better. Yeah, so for me, I think diagnosis is not the issue. I think the issue should be you feeling safe. So for me, when I think of mental health, mimi nafikiria ni safety. So emotional safety, safety to explore who you are, safety to try new things, safety to express yourself. Like even art. I've done a recent course on expressive arts and I'm like, wow. Yeah, what you guys are saying is really beautiful. You know, because unaweza chora hata upone bila kuongea. So I've learned how to use that also in my therapy. I wouldn't say I'm one of those terminology people. I like making things simple. Not only for other people, but for myself. Sipendangi vitu ngumu, juu najua pia mimi sitaki kitu ngumu. So that's why I think I'm fun, or rather I'm easy to work with. But many people don't think of therapy as now that explorative process. So for me, I say I create safety, and if someone wants to know if they're mentally healthy, as Kama has said, mentally healthy ni kama physical health. Unaweza kuwa na poa ama mbaya. Bad physical health, good physical health. But how I know someone is mentally healthy ni kukuwa safe. And I feel like safe to do whatever they feel like doing, whatever they're thinking of doing, vitu kaa hizo.
Okay. My neighbor.
Nimekula points zangu zote.
Ay.
I think okay, nimekula kula points zangu, but for me kiangalia mental health. Nasema we are all candidates. Just to, as long as you're a human being on a brain, we are all candidates. It can be good, it can be bad. At the same time, sisi wote tuko kwa hiyo line ya, as long as you have a brain, you're a candidate to mental health.
That's you was just your point. Umetry
candidates.
So for me, I can say definitely the mental health, that's a very big word, and especially mtaani. Nimekuwa mtaani, nimework people around mtaani. So you find if you say the word mental health, people really don't relate to it, or if they relate, wanaona you are at the bad state, unafaa uende madhari. The way umesema, someone like mtaani, they know it's a bad state, not knowing maybe it's a good. So that's why, because you can't know if we are well or not well. So maybe in our spaces, because also youth with the high youths and in the community, in the country, in our spaces, najua we work with youths. So maybe we can share a bit views on how do we work with the youths around mental health. Maybe we can start with Ivanna.
So I think I've worked with youth for long, even that time I was here and after, and kitu moja naweza sema, it has to be fun, because any school, I've worked in schools, pia hapa mtatu nimefanya. First time mtu atasikia mental health ama therapy, definitely atakuwa like, mi si mgonjwa, I'm not suicidal, mi siko, mi si cheesy. So unless you as a person make that space very comfortable, yeye mwenyewe anakuja naona, okay, hapa kuna vibe, and then as a person pia usikwe serious sana, you're able to make things light. Mental health conversations don't have to start serious. I remember in Salama we used to do games, we used to do movies. Inafaa tu ianze mali yenye yuko. Huyo youth mali unampata, anza naye hapo. And then introduce the topic and introduce it with things wana go through every day. Yeah, because I think mental health now ukisema, as you said, iko hapo juu. But every day we go through relationship issues. Every day we go through sijui health issues, sijui hatuko fit, sijui hatuko, So I think it's just breaking it down. And as I said, for Mimi, I think sijui kani talent ama tu ni mimi niko hivyo, but simple. I like making everything ikuwe very simple. Mimi nielewe pia, alafu tuelewe sisi wote, so that you're not thinking mental health is beyond. So it's just to make it fun. And for me, I think what Art Flicker is doing is now part of it. Yeah. Ni hapo ndo mtu anafaa kuanza. Mental health should start very basic. Mpata tu mtu, fanya kitu basic, sports kama ni boys, football, whatever, rugby, and then start from there. Yeah,
from there now conversations inaanza pole.
And it shouldn't be very clinical. Of course, hata mimi nimesema I don't support diagnosis a lot unless it's yani ile necessary, because ukishaanza diagnosis mara madawa, and when you get into medication, trying to be independent and deal with these things bila hiyo dawa, ni hard work. Yeah. So for me, I support unless it's kama ni necessary. So I think ni kwanza tu pole pole, and don't see people as sick. Hata wale wako pabaya, hawako pabaya sana if you just take them step by step, start from the basics. So that's what me I'd say, and youth deserve that. Our deserve your story. Sasa ni talk. Okay, of course talks work. I do talks. But we start with the basics, yes, and fun stuff. Yeah, mental health is fun.
Okay, maybe how you do deal with youths around art, which type of art you feel they engage with so much.
Okay, so for us, for youth, since Art and Flickers is created by youth, for starters, it has to be interactive. Using the work is project talk, like unaweza talk, but it's a two interaction. I'm able to my mental as well, listening to my perspective. So we also can't come to you and tell you about your mental health without listening to you first. So we have to make sure that it's two-way. We are having art. If it's art sessions, we have art for you to see, and we also want you to create your own. Even if you don't feel like an artist, even if you don't, unashangaa tu mnachora. Fanya kenye utafanya. It's not about being perfect. It's about getting it out. Yeah. So that is our main approach about interacting with you, making it interactive, making it two-way, making it fun. Learning bila kujua unashtukia by the way leo nimesoma vitu moja.
But did you say mko based wapi?
Tuko based wapi?
Ama nyingine countrywide?
We are virtual.
Young
people are found
virtually.
Digital. Sorry.
We are based here.
We are based anywhere you are. Where you are, that is where we are.
I'm sorry.
So how do you draw online?
It's coming, trust me. We are launching that very soon.
No,
But you have events, you have physical events.
Yeah.
Oh, we do physical events.
I was wondering.
Also.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we do.
Where
physical
people
events.
come, draw,
Yes.
interact.
Umesikia tukiambiwa
with
silipishe
arts.
3,000. Silipishe 3,000.
Okay.
Kubwa kwa hapa hivi. Okay.
Okay. So maybe this is just a random question. With regards to the youth in Kenya, do we have any mental health crisis issues? Because tunaonanga every day the reports, suicide tunatukika kidogo, someone ame commit suicide. How do you see that report?
Wacha niongee. I think every time someone asks that question, every time someone asks that question, for me, it's been there. Wacha niongee kama dinosaur mwenzangu hapa kiwa.
Watu wa newspapers.
I think growing up for us, and Ivanna mentioned that, we were raised through trauma. For us, trauma is like those are our guardians. So first of all, a generation that was raised with trauma and didn't know it was trauma, and it was normalized having look at it as ukienda kwambia kama na kwambia kwenye mfanyia wangi hivyo, it was normal, by the time unakuja ku realize it was the information was coming out, ndio na realize that was trauma. And you can ask Ivanna, most of the people don't even know they went through trauma. So the fact that people didn't know that was trauma, mental health started way before what we are seeing currently. So the ones who we came, tukakuja tukaipeel over to sisi tukatupia kina Fiona and kina Ivanna, who else? Monolization. Tulipewa hata sisi tukawapea na tulipata. We powered it. By the time it was coming out, the awareness is coming in, it's more of I'm able to express myself and I'm able to identify. Before, people didn't know what to look out for. Sasa kila mtu anajua nikiwa nimenyamaza and I'm not doing the things I'm not doing, I'm not okay. Kitambo ungeambiwa uko na roho mbaya, shangi watu, such things, unajipenda, we are trying to socialize, but we didn't know how to, we didn't give it a name. As much as we are saying mental health is giving names to emotions and traits that we are raised with, as Africans it looks like that, but it's true. So unapata mtu anakuambia mimi nakuanga anxious. That is not your identity. Anxious is not your identity. Identity yako si anxious. You only feel anxious when something is happening. So there's a crisis because people are now identifying, but it was there. So for young people it's even worse because now information iko kwa nje. Na wase wanajua mali shida iko ni hapa na mali shida iko ni hapa hivi. That awareness already is creating that like wase wanajua nikifika point fulani and I'm feeling like sitaki kuendelea kuishi, hiyo ndio kitu watu wanaitanga depression. But mtu ajui kabisa depression ni nini. Maybe tu ni stress imempiga ya rent, but haiwezi relate to your stress ya rent ndio inafanya na feel stressful hivi. Akisha sort rent, by the mashida zetu mingi zinaanga tu do. Tusidanganyane. Nikisha pata tu do hivi mimi upo.
Pesa na mapenzi. Pesa na mapenzi. Mapenzi si sana, but pesa.
So you see it's pinning a name to that emotion. Then after that tunajua the cases in arise because so you can use that metaphor. I think I was suicidal. What is suicidal? I'm able to say the point 2 weeks I was doing something kama malaria. I usually use an example of malaria in the village. Enda kwa kijiji yote Kenya, hata Uganda na Tanzania. Ule shosho mdogo uko chini anajua malaria ni. It was because information was given more and more in the community. It's because people don't know in the community what mental health is, and that's why we are trying to make it more understandable. Before hata tuanze kuambia enda chukua dawa, do you know what's going on? Usiniambie stress, usiniambie nakuanga anxious. Your annoying is not anxious. That's not a personality you need anxious, you know. So the challenge is there with young people. But it's not like it's now blooming. It's because the information is there and people now know what to give a name to those emotions and those feelings. Yeah, but for young people, stasema tija kuwa. Hata sisi, I'm pretty sure whatever young people are going through saizi, kama probably tulipitia 3 times.
Are you saying you're a young person?
No, we are not young. We are young at heart. Kuna watu young at heart. Sisi ni young at heart.
Neza cut your part. So, yeah, I think it is more of that awareness. Then sasa inakani kama before it was not there so much, and now it's so much. Si atuka tunajua. Hata sisi tunaangalianga vitu zingine some people are doing. For me, for instance, if I didn't know that is mental health, I'd be like, you just being sassy. Like kuna kwa watu
exaggerate.
You know? If I didn't know better, ningesema sasa hii kujifanya sasa. No. But because now we know what's happening, I will still give that parental look hii kujifanya, but ndajua okay, someone is going through something. So I think for me it's that readiness of information and people are able now to bring it out there. Now it looks like it has poked out, like now there's a challenge.
So nataka kufanya a bit of follow up due to tumeongelea story ya trauma. As we are looking to take our first short break. Ni what do you guys think about issue ya people using mental health labels as a crutch ama kupedestalize trauma? Ukifanyia mtu kitu kidogo, unani traumatize, like trauma sasa imekuwa is the thing people, everybody wants trauma. So somebody like kuna time before Twitter igeuke kuwe X, watu walikuwa wanaandika kwa nini yao ADHD. Kwa profile like when umesema msema mimi unajibrand because you know, so unatumia hiyo information like
to be cool.
Cool. So what do you guys think about that?
Acha nitupie daktari sasa.
Mimi ndo naita daktari. Tumesema si serious sana.
Yeah, kabla daktari aingie, let's take our first short break. And then sasa daktari tukirudi, daktari Ivanna.
Ndio sasa.
Tatuambia mambo ya trauma.
Achambue vizuri.
We'll be right back. Yes, and we are back from the short break. And we are going to Ivanna. Kuna swali tulikuwa tumeuliza hapo mambo ya trauma na labels. So Ivanna?
So I know many people like to say ati mtu anatafuta attention ama anatumia kitu kama crutch. But when I look back, or even at the clients who are looking for attention, those who are told that, one thing let me tell you, you know we have a generational problem. Acha ni combine na jibu hiyo ingine. Tuko na generational problem. So kuna baby boomers wale ashosho zetu, sisi watu young. Shosho na grandparents.
Feel attacked.
You know, he said we are young. So our grandparents are baby boomers, our parents are Gen X, alafu kuna millennials, which alafu kuna sisi, I'm a millennial. Yes. Or alafu kuna Gen Z who are really supporting the fight against bad mental health, which we are happy for. But now the problem is, ukiona mtu anatafuta hiyo attention, ukweli ananidi hiyo attention, hakupewa hiyo attention. And let's be honest, some parents, like me, my parents were Gen X. Na kusema ukweli, ni venye tu, I have been lucky enough to have this awareness of what's going on with me. But even me, I'd look for attention. Why not? Kama sijapewa home, nitapewa wapi? Sometimes you look at people and you're like, anataka attention. They need it. Of course, they don't know how to get it without being the way they are. And that's why we support them. So me always say, ukiona mtu anatumia kama crutch, kama huwezi mpea attention, achana na yeye. Also ignoring people like that is okay if you don't have capacity. Kama uko na capacity, msaidie. Juu ana need your attention. The other question you had asked Paris, nikumbushe tu kidogo. What question are you answering?
Crisis.
The report, the crisis and the report.
Yeah, the crisis is because, and as you said, that the problem has always been there. Imekuwa hapo. But baby boomers wali ignore your shida. Au wali work their way out of their mental health. Gen X, them they control. Ni wale watu wako control. Yani wale hata ukienda job na wao wanakuanga very controlling. So them they control. Millennials wame crash. So when you see millennials and Gen Z behaving the way they are, ni juu hiyo mental health hawa si hawaku deal nayo. That's their problem to deal with right now. It's really hard. And let me tell you, as a millennial, I feel like that's the hardest job we were given. Akina baby boomers, yes, fought for independence. I'm not saying it wasn't hard. Gen X fought for our rights to work in the office. I'm not saying it's not hard. But here, mental health, because you see, you're dealing with these people who don't understand, unahitaji ABCD. Ha understand, alikuumiza hivi na hivi, na haumwambia change sana. Unamwambia tu acknowledge alikuumiza na behave better. But wanajua, wanataka, hawataki. So that's the crisis I think we're having. And when you see people saying ati wanaenda no contact, sitaki kuongea na familia yangu, sitaki, trust them. Just trust them that they cannot handle their family anymore and they need to take a break. And it's okay. I think I advocate for it for some time. We always ishi in isolation, but for some time si mbaya, kujipea space. So I think that's the crisis we're having, and the crutch people are using, it's just people who are really hurt and don't know how to express it in another way. So they now use it as a excuse. And the only way they can stop using it as a crutch or excuse is only being supported. There's no other way out. Even those children who we are told, huyu anataka tu attention, mpe basi attention, awache kulia. Mpe. So for me, I'm supportive of people like that because it is expressive of this person's issues. Hata ukisikia mtu amedramatize sana, mpe tu, msaidie tu.
Sema akona drama bingi.
Akona drama, akona dramatic. Also those people heal faster because I always say people who are dramatic, people who are sensitive, those ones who speak their mind, they heal faster, they live longer because they're expressing themselves. You know, tumefunzwa kujisuppress. Nyamazia.
Especially
unanyamazia ikuue sasa.
Men.
Yeah, it makes you sick.
Nyamazia. Siseme mbele ya watu.
Ukiingilia hapo kwa men, utaacha kuongelea hapo men.
No, but
men don't speak their problems.
No, I think men, let's leave them, but we have to find alternative.
Why are you leaving us? We do speak.
We don't want to be left.
Hizo ni rumors zimekuwa spread to the enemies. We speak.
Tunataka tujitetee.
You speak?
We do.
Where?
To specific people.
We speak. But sasa shida inakuwa.
We don't speak like how you expect us to speak. Our expression of how we speak is not the same way we expect us to
because most of the time when we speak, the conversation now turns into how you spoke, not what you said.
Mimi ndakupa example moja saizi. Kama atakuja hapa leo nimwangalie amejam. Kwambie leo maamua katso bonde sura. That is me asking him is okay. Don't ask him uko poa. The way we express as men doesn't come out.
So unafuria nani?
So unaamua leo tukupigie
ushakuwa demu tufurie.
I'm just asking, is everything okay? We don't express it.
After you itaishia na like I'm in kofiti.
And then he's ready, he will speak. Because the way I'm asking, men will shy away from a direct emotional engagement. Ngikuuliza kama unakaa niko umejam, uko poa. That is emotional.
It's like,
responding to that would be like, hey bro, unanitaka ni unajua. But if I ask him, hey bro, leo maamua bibi
kwani bibi alikupiga.
He's already giving that light mode, yeah, this is a safe space. That's how we engage, but we don't engage like ati mimi nitakuja ati hey kama leo unaona unakaa depressed. That's already an emotional question. And I'll shy away from it. I'll just pull back because I don't know how to respond to that.
And then if it is something serious tunanimeita Brian kando, we sit now, we talk. Alafu hata kimcha karibie.
Si lazima ongelee kwa umati. Ile tu Brian niuliza ameona kitu. Atanita kama hey bro, unajua by the way. Okay. It's just give me a signal. We'll see what to do with it. That's
and then hata nikosa kuongea Brian is okay.
Akiwa ready atasema it's okay.
I mean because Brian knows that there are things zinamsumbua zenye ana sort. Ako kwa process ya kusort. So I don't need to tell you because I'm working on it. Ikinishinda And then men speak to people or talk to people who have a solution to what inamsumbua.
Thank you.
So kama niko na shida ya pesa nitaenda kwa mtu akona do. Kama niko na shida ya job nitaenda kwa msaidizi nipea job. Na sasa naongelesha mtu hana kazi anisaidia. Anza kuniambia don't worry. Hata niende. Ndio nitasema usijali. Mungu atakubariki. I'm like
I've already got, see, by the time I'm coming to you kuja kuni, I've already had that conversation in my mind. Nimejiambia nikajiongea. By the time I'm coming to you nakuja na ile ya
this one will help.
It's about outcome and ile nataka kuja na results. Mimi nimekuja Fiona nataka 3,000. Like nakuja ajua nini nimeshanifanya najua na hiyo. But kuja kuniambia I'm listening to you, I can hear. It's okay, I can hear, but it will just be thanks.
But what if when you talk to someone, like for me what I do, I'm also similar in that I choose someone who I know will give me some mental advice. Si lazima nisaidie physically, but unajua kuna mtu anaweza kuambia kitu akwambie and you're like, oh yeah, it's possible like this and like that. So I think people need to talk more, not because of what someone can do for you, but even just feeling like even them, they are going to do the same thing, or they're going to listen, or they're going to give you an idea you really didn't have. You know, by the way, sometimes juu ya shida unaweza kosa idea. Lakini inafungananga. But some people have really good ideas just because they're not going through the same problem as you. Ama akili yake haijafungana venye yako.
Hata iona objectively. And that, you see, and that's why most men have a problem talking to their women. Because when a woman comes atujuagi when you want me to help or when you want me to listen. Wano atujuagi. So we are like 50-50. See, for a man, if he comes to me najua akona shida na need solution. So tutakaa chini tupange umefanya hivi alafu nini kifanyika. So wale atakuja sasa nishafanya hii na hii na hii na hii. Uko na idea nyingine gani? Ashaniambia nini amefanya. But now a woman comes to you and niko na idea unajikumpe anakuambia I just wanted you to listen. You're like why?
But some nasema
to be very confused. Time when you need me to give you solution when that's why even sometimes I tell my wife you just want to vent. Kuja niambia kama nataka kuvent. Tell me beforehand. Nikae.
Just listen.
I will give you the that's very bad.
Alifanya hivyo hata nisifurahie story.
Yes, and then I just turn off my brain. I just turn off my brain. I let you vent. Unaona, sasa shida inakuwa mimi nimekuja na a million and one solutions. Alafu unazi-ignore zote, unaenda unafanya vitu zako.
Amekuja niambie you are not even listening. I was listening, that's when nikupe hizo solutions zote. So it's vile kama amesema. Sometimes just put that ile ya do you want me to listen to you? Do you want a solution or do you want just to vent? Ukuje tu niambie. Ukishaniambia akili yangu imeset na mimi sitakuongea hata sitasema anything. Mimi nitakuwa cheerleader. Ati alifanya hata miss fry your story. Hiyo kwanza, you know, and if you just want to listen, I just be here and listen to you. And maybe out of that listening, I see it's about how the different genders express. So once you start understanding that, it's the communication here. When you come to me, you're coming with an emotional support. Maybe what I need, emotional support yangu, maybe nataka to meet and I'll be okay. But
just
compare meeting.
I just need an orgasm. Give it to me.
And then you
and but that is me I just want nikuambie to inform you. Na kuambia
for your own information.
For your information kisia kama aliniko hivi niseme sikusikia. So it's different. Expression does not mean like one channel. It's the way I'll express myself, si same utaji express. And mimi yangu nitaelewa we are jaribu kuji express because even they are express as a lady. Me as a man I express myself differently. So it's how am I bringing it out? But yeah, it's always good to talk.
And that also comes in like how do men also benefit from therapy? When you say you are good because you are like I want to customize it to you. But there are those people who you have to sit down, with just the forms, then you talk, and then you know men have a problem verbalizing, especially emotions. Especially emotions zinakuwa very clear kwetu ni sadness, anger na joy. Hizi vitu zingine sijui anxiety, hizo tutazingiza hapo. Zinakuwa somewhere. So unajaribu kuniambia vitu zingine I'm like, what do you want me to tell you? I don't know how I feel. And for us when we say sijui ujue tu sijui. Waze usianze kuforce sijui vile na feel. So I think also that one also inaletaga challenge especially kwa men ku seek help because when I get frustrated then I feel like unisaidi. So I won't come back to you again. Na unataka I come back. And I can't come back because naona ni kama hatuelewani. But you see, if it is a man, if Brian says something which is out of character, nitashika because I know Brian. I know that's out. Ama Brian ako suddenly akona anger issues, I will note like this is not Brian. He is not good. Utaanza kuona watu wanaanza achana na Brian. Wanaanza kumprotect. Ndio asi-engage na watu because we know that when he's in that mood, rage yake inaweza kuja hata anaanza kuumiza watu. So unaanza wakati unaambia watu achana naye wanaanza kwa nini hutaki tuongee na Brian? Like I don't know. Unaweza kwa nini bro shida yake ni I don't know but wachana na yeye.
Unatoka countermeasure tu ya like wacha ajisote mwenyewe akishamaliza atarudi.
Hata unaona akirudi hata kuna mtu nini ilifanyika
atajileta tu mwenyewe tu.
Atulizagi bro kwa nini ulikuwa umekasirika, that's akiona akitaka kutuambia atatuambia. Si amerudi tunapiga story. Tuendelee.
And we are not saying that whatever that way of actioning it's okay and it's normal. But that is how we are doing it. We can do better. We can do better. But at the moment, it's because men don't talk. Me, I don't believe your story as men don't talk. If someone says men don't talk, it's because we talk. But we just don't talk to the people who are expecting us to talk.
I think that expression, the way you said, I think men should just make it clear how they express their pain more clearly. It doesn't have to be talking. Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
It's very true. Because if you want to know men talk, go talk to those people who do hostess services kwa bar.
Thank you.
Those who serve drinks.
How do wanapatanga?
Yes.
I was joking with someone nikamwambia if therapists come up with a way of doing the bar atmosphere, men will be having lives za wanaume.
And why does that work?
Because this is a stranger. And then because of her job, she's very approachable. So hata ukimuongelesha, she will forget you. Kesho hata kumbuka wewe vitu ulimwambia. But now if you for us we have the way we are made, we look at the social repercussions of being weak as a man. So if I appear weak hapa nje, weak quote unquote, then of course status yangu kama mwanaume imeshuka. Status yangu mwanaume ikishuka, then I'll have problems with because everybody now anaanza kufight watu. But huyu mwenye ako hapa hivi ama strangers tu kwa pub, they talk, wanaambia naga story because tukitoka kwa ile mlango
hata sijajua zile home says je anaitwa nani, but mimi najua tu by the bro hiyo pesa yako ilikuwa
so basi
mnasema habanos ni yake nini therapy
enda tu hapo ambie ile bike open ka hapo ongea kaa tu na kabaka yako it may be a very good idea by the because alcohol pain afanyanga watu wanaongea. Mimi niko hapo kuzi express
and then when you get to the bar men are very supportive. Wacha aseme ni nini
unamnyamazisha wacheni because that's why they are there. That is their therapy point. Nikishalewa no one will accuse me and say sijui ongea.
Mimi anasema hata mimi wacha niseme. So you see a man coming home late at night, huyu tu ni kulewa. But ametoka some therapy. Bali ametoka. So alitoka asubuhi mmekosana ameisort. Amekuja wamemalizana cause niona hata bra yako na hiyo issue kama bra yako kwake ni wazi.
Tutafungua file nyingine asubuhi tena.
Kwangu hata ni better. Unaona? So I think you see the way we work other programs in terms of responsiveness to the gender. So we should also try to make mental health responsive to the different genders. Because even men are not even a monolith. Also men have differences. But there is a structure that men understand. Once people, alafu men tell other men. Like if I go to a therapist and na ako sawa, boss, enda tu jaribu. Enda ujaribu kwa fulani. Enda ujaribu kwa fulani. Then you start seeing, you see there are those therapists who men come, alafu kuna wale tu therapists, akisikia ni room ya fulani, is like, I will wait. Because for us, tunasemaga we are very brittle. Men are brittle, that's why we protect ourselves and Suji protect.
Brittle means what?
We easily break.
We need a safe
we easily break.
Space to just, because you see, the fact that kwanza I'm able to talk and express what I'm feeling,
that's a step.
It needs a lot of energy. It needs a lot of
physical
strength ya kuunga. Hii ni ile yenye ndio nitoke niambie hata wewe kama Kama kwanza ajue zina happen kwa nyumba yangu. Bro, wewe tumekuwa wabishte for long.
For a minute. Kuna vitu
and I'll have to collect myself because kuna vile kama ananibeba. So by the time nikuje nje kio level ya kama ya naheshimu mse the point nakuja kumwambia it takes a lot of strength. So with that already just looking at it, there are structures already. Kuna zetu zina exist. If you could just look at them and look kama hiyo ya bye enda kinyozi.
Sports when umesema like some men don't like talking direct. When we are doing something we will talk. Kama tunacheza ball ama tuna watch ball ama maybe we are just going looking for firewood or just taking a walk.
Or talking of ball, tulikuwa Kiota. The school tulikuwa juzi ilikuwa gani?
Moya School
Mbiruri. It's a boys school. And do you know what we use that attract people? Football. It was art based, but just having that football structure, there's 2 teams you're playing with, but we're using it in a mental health perspective. So there's one team here. So if you pass a ball, there's a challenge you're given, you answer that question. Do you know many young people mpaka sasa tuliacha kuifanya ndio walikuwa wanaifanya. Like they just came as a volunteer like mimi nitafanya next. So tulienda kufanya and you see it was, let me bring it now back to art. For us we look at it from, it starts with listening. We start with looking at who are we going to serve? Ni nani hao? Once you listen and you know who that is, unajua utaserve. Our curations are mostly based on what do we want to achieve out of the day. They happen. But we look at it from a point of one shoe doesn't fit all. I think our program has been one shoe doesn't fit all. You go to Art & Flickers, you kamata kwambia. Our events are always different. Every event has a different concept. Why? We individualize our sessions. It's sisi tunaangalia Fiona leo ameamua ni 80s. Ile tunamjonga kama fashionista. Ameamua leo ni 80s. Ni 80s ama 70s, 80s. 80s. Atakuvalia 60s kesho. Fiona feels 80s today. That is how we treat Fiona today. Leo hata mimi nitamwambia my lady, that's how she feels like today. So if 80s is how Fiona will express herself, so how do I talk to Ivanna? Ivanna ametuvalia 2000s. So let me speak the 2000. So if it's fashion that is making you express yourself, I've listened to you based on what you're giving. So I think for me, even with men, any mental health engagement, for me it starts with kusikiza huyo msee ama hiyo group uko nayo based on what they need and not generalizing it to kila msee anataka futa. Mimi si football. Mimi sina hata.
Hebu niulize kiasi because I'm still stuck at this point and na load tunaona tu mkiongea bado niko hapo because mlianza tukagree or at least tukagree that men will talk when there's a solution. Like they'll come to you when there's a solution. And then there's a part that men will not rant like women. Sindo. But bado kuna venye mta enjoy kurant to people that you will not meet you tomorrow. Venye I'm not ties with. Napotea mahali hapo. So there's an aspect of accepting the expression but in a certain environment.
Where someone won't think, I think where someone won't think of them as weak, especially long term.
Because for us women, the way we've been expressed towards women and engage with the women, we should always come out strong. Me speaking, already my brain has been conditioned. Mimi hakuna venza kuja kuongelesha kwa hiyo. Like already my brain had connect. That to me will like it entices weakness.
Yes.
To me as a man, to you I should be strong. To her I should be strong. I should be strong to her. So already coming to you to express my emotions. I'm exposing my weakness. But to a stranger, they don't know me the way you know me. To the baum sawaba, ni jivu you want enjoy hivyo. So at the back of my mind, this is a safe space where there's no judgment. I won't be looked at differently, and perspective of you're no longer a man won't come in.
And then
so I'll express myself through solutions. That I can pay solutions, but it's where am I doing it?
Alafu kuna aspect ya care. Even if unanibeba, I don't care. That's why hata kesho tukipatana uniambia ndio leo alikuwa analia.
Hiyo ngine ule msamelewa si mimi.
But now you are a woman.
You don't care because you're drunk or you don't care.
No, you don't care because ayuko kwa periphery yako ya the people you care about. So like for example if it is a wife, I care about how she venye ananibeba. Venye ananionaga. Kama ni girlfriend ama friend, kuna venye uniona, so kuna ile status niko nayo kwao. So I don't want to mess na hiyo hierarchy, but a stranger tumepatana and hata unibebe venye utanibeba, I don't care you. Hata tukipatana the next time, hata unaenda uniaibisha, I don't care. But now the people you care about, and then those are the ones who will hurt you the most. Because who stranger akienda kispread stories zangu.
Yeah, kwa jaba msee.
But imagine if your wife or your girlfriend or your close friend ask hiyo story, then usikie hiyo story mahali.
Definitely.
Yeah, and then we are brittle, so I trust you with something. Ukibreak your trust, sirudi kwako tena. No matter how many apologies you make, sasa nimeweka hiyo block. Like you are the people who want to hurt me. Labda uko unataka kuni hurt.
Yeah.
But you hurt me. That's why I said men, that's why you see when men are violent, it's because wamefika they are frustrated. Most of them is because of frustration. Akona hiki kitu anataka kusolve but ajui aje. Na so ana go through the hard way. Hii lazima ifanyike vile na so anataka kucontrol and that's why ana go violent. So most people when you see, especially those people who are not violent, once wamekuwa violent, it's because of kuna kitu inamfrustrate na ajui hata isolve aje, and then somebody else anaifanya inakuwa worse either knowingly or unknowingly and maybe for him ajui kucontrol ama hiyo control imefika mahali imepita, because men have but men have a lot of control, like as basic
the need for control.
They have a lot of it because they need it. They have it. But then once lose your control, then it is hard for him to get it back, ama to get back in control. That's why you see when a man goes violent, most of the time it takes another violent action to stop it, because sasa ameingia place and sasa ni like animal amesha go to his animal brain.
It's basic physics.
So sayana need another person who has more force kumsimamisha. And then once amesimamisha, once amerudi, men are very easy ku realize mistake yangu nimedu because sa amerudi sasa.
Sasa kama na Brian mfanye kazi kwa vijana, watu wajue kazi kwa vijana. I think even us we need to figure out what's this way that men.
Yeah, definitely, because nilikuwa nafikiria like this conversation imekuwa so much interesting. I guess maybe we can have a conversation on how we know men, because we stop to assume this is how men are, but now if you start also, because mnashinda kama mkituambia yes we are doing women empowerment, tunasahau men, but I don't know you guys.
Maybe we don't understand.
Side me, I understand a lot of things.
No, it's crazy. Like I'm stuck on the idea of going to the bar to do therapy. Mkinipata kwa bar
either uko na clients already.
Amo design office inakaa, because there is patterns. Mind ina
I think you
unaenda physical.
Not like you see the way you have a podcast hapa. If you have, I know, pesa itafunguka. Instead of just having offices malota wakutana kwa couch, ya wanaume una set up mahali kuna like a bar setting mahali mtu anaweza kaa.
No, I don't think that would be ethical, you get.
Ndio nasema.
You just go there and then you set up a therapy booth and call it something, and then you tell people it's like a K or 500. You just come and
kuja ubonge, jibonga.
And you see it's easier because they're there already.
And then if you utakuwa unaona tu kuna mtu atakuja mara 2-3 then courage tu kuingia kwa hiyo booth.
Alafu akisha it's actually
you just need one person to get in. Once the first person gets in,
hiyo ingine ni
wengine wanaona acha hata mimi niende.
Wewe ingia uone nini koko, wewe ingia tu.
And then there is something about kucheza na what do men respond to? Men respond to beauty. As long as it's a beautiful woman inside the booth,
they'll come.
Watakuja tu yana kuja kuflat ile but then nini unafanyaga hapa? Hivyo inaanza tu hivyo like
atajibu hata alafu kuongea.
Then venye unamreceive unamexplain interesting. Maybe ataenda afikirie for a few days then arudi. So it's so kuna.
Now do you guys talk better to women or to men?
It depends. When tumesema tunajua kuweka compartments. There are things which we know women are better. Then there are things we know men, especially when you need hard. Kitu yenye umejaribu imekushinda but you need a solution, just go to a man. Tota kuangalia kuulize sasa wewe hii kitu kidogo hivi ndio tufanye hivi na hivi na hivi na hivi.
Na umeenda home.
And then also if you have very good friends, there are those who will even take up tasks. Like wewe utafanya hivi, mimi nitadu hivi.
or I'll follow up on this.
Ama
next week
nijue nifanya hivi nitakuuliza justaki kuje kunisumbua na history yako.
Niko na zangu pia.
Okay, huko nje unafikiria kwani watu wanakosana but that's how they talk. Anamwambia you need to do because tunakoga pia ni tragic, we are human. Vitu zingine ni scary kama so uambiwe tu uende uambie wife yako something and you know italeta shida. Sasa utapostpone
unaacha tu
bila kuambia Sunday nitakuwa naye nitamuuliza au nimwambie. So unajua uko na deadline. Either way atamwambia. Juu ashakuambia.
Okay. I guess we can tunaweza fanya to have this discussion about men. So
sure.
Najua the discussion imekuwa fiti sana and we'll be taking another break and to come back I just want to talk about your mental health and therapy so that we also know what are some of the misconceptions around mental health and therapy. Thank you so much and we'll be right back. Welcome back to our Uko Fiti podcast and palikuwa tumeachia we were supposed to talk about mental health and therapy. So maybe our psychologist Ivanna, we can start from you. Maybe you tell us what are some of the misconceptions around, especially when someone hear the word therapy, because coming back to the informal settlement, therapy ni wadosi. Therapy is not for everyone. Si kila mtu. So ukiambia mse you need to see a therapist. Hiyo ni kama imeenda beyond. And as long as you're sleeping, unamka poa, unaona mimi niko poa. Therapy why? So maybe you can tell us some of the misconceptions around therapy.
I would say the first misconception is that there are certain people wanahitaji therapy na wengine hawahitaji. So it's like there's a divide. Me I always say, na nasemanga hivi mara moja, everyone needs therapy. And if you think you don't need therapy, you need more therapy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because wale kuna watu wanajua mimi niko sawa. Huyo ndo sasa akona shida kubwa kuliko wale wenye at least wanakubaliana na sisi that they need
therapy.
That's the first thing. The second thing is see our dose ni venye it's just that it's very hard to come by. People also don't take it serious. Ukienda, let me tell you, hata mtaani watu wakikuwa let's say na nini TB, hata tumia pesa mingi sana kutibu hiyo TB. Ama kama ako na cancer. Even they'll fundraise watibu hiyo kitu, si ndio? But let's say apatikane na anxiety, depression. They're like, hii kitu si real, you know. So they feel like it's too much of an investment for what they're getting. Not realizing that mse ni mgonjwa ya ukweli na anahitaji hiyo support. So I think it's more of watu wanaichukulianga junior wadosi juu wadosi wana understand.
The importance.
Of course, yes, they have more access to money, but everyone has access to money when the need is there. Hata wewe sasa ukihitaji, of course, God forbid, sometimes it comes in very bad ways. But if we ever need money to treat something, we always find. Hata kama ni community inakuja inasema, ama family inashikana. So why when it's mental health, hakuna pesa. Kuna pesa. But of course, even in mtaani, there's always this therapist. Like even for me, I was here. And if anyone wanted to come, they could come. So I think ni kutafuta. So ukijua uko na hiyo shida na maybe uko na una do enough, unatafuta. Me always say, if you look for something, you'll find. And sometimes when you have a problem, you have to look for the solution. So, and then the other thing people think is that therapy ni advice. So nitakuja nianze kukuambia Paris unafaa kufanya hii, unafaa kufanya hii. One thing therapy is me and you. Let's say, okay, let me use you.
Okay.
So mimi na wewe tuko therapy, mimi ndiye therapist wako. It's me and you discovering Paris from scratch. Of course you know things about Paris, so I'll help you tell me. But therapy is discovering Paris and helping Paris become the best Paris she could be. Ni kudiscover Paris ni nani, anaweza fanya nini akuwe better, and not better person but better Paris. So I have to figure out, it's work, because I don't know you.
Definitely.
Yeah. And even if I know you, have to put aside hizo vitu, nianze kufigure out Paris ni nani. Ndio pia niweze kusaidia nikiai kupea suggestion ama nikupea advice, ile siku nitakupea session 5, session 2 na kupea based on what you
have given you.
Yeah. I'm not giving you a suggestion off at because I'm so smart, you know. Smartness tunaika chini nje. And so the hard work even in therapy is, even if you see a solution, you minimize yourself as a person and you put your client hapo juu. And you say, okay, what would work for Paris? And if I don't know what could work for Paris, I keep asking the questions till I figure out nini inaweza work. So that's why people don't misunderstand therapy. So sina answers, but naweza kutumia kupata answers. And I have to get inside of you. And it's hard work. Therapy is hard work because hata wewe itabidi umejidiscover vitu zenye huko unataka kujua, utajua. Zile vitu huko unataka kufanya na watu wengine itabidi ufanye. It's hard work of becoming the best version of you. Because pia tumetrainiwa kale ka childhood trauma nilikuwa nasema, tumetrainiwa not to want good for ourselves. Yeah, we are okay being small. We are okay being tuko sawa tu. Juu umezoea mashida. Unajua zile mashida umepitia na wazazi, umepitia mingi hadi ukazoea.
Normalize.
Yeah, you think it's okay and it's not. Mi kuna vitu mingi hadi I didn't say my age and I still won't say it. But there are some things I've realized sahi na niko like, guy. Yani hawa say wali convince. Yeah, they treat you bad hadi you continue the work. Umeendelea kufanya kazi ya wazazi wako juu.
Tunafuata nyayo.
Fuata nyayo.
Fuata nyayo.
Walikutesa na unaendelea kujitesa. So anyway.
No, it was inherited.
No, not even inherited. You know, it's exposure. You think it's no. Yani unaona kama ni kawaida. So for me, I always say therapy is that. It's just realizing that you could be better. And not better because someone will help you. Juu tu ukirealize vitu vingine una realize kumbe mimi ni mnoma lakini wasee walinifinya hadi hata sikuwa najua mimi ni mnoma, you know. So I'd say that's the other thing. Is there any other thing? Yeah, that's all I'd say. And therapy is good. I mean, even for me, I look forward to therapy because I know I'll figure out another pattern. You see, even now I told you I figured out something.
Yeah.
And I've been doing therapy for 7 years. As in nimekuwa nafanya hii kazi. Na kuna vitu mimi najifigure out sahi. So imagine, even if you haven't started, it's a long journey. Yeah.
Fiona, have you ever been to a therapist?
Yes.
So maybe you can just because I know kuamka tu wasema leo naenda. So how did you maybe battle that issue of now is that time for me to step into that door? Maybe some of the misconceptions uliambiwa maybe that's worse fai kuenda the same way, maybe ataanza kukuchannel your life ilikuwa hivi anakupeleka hivi, so maybe you can just share.
Okay, so for me ilifika point like I'm very self-reflective and I will try to solve my problems fast. Okay, I like talking to people, but I try to solve. So nile nimetry naona hapo okay sawa, let me talk to someone who is not in my circle because I don't want you to know myself. And kind of therapy. And for me actually, unfortunately, it confirmed the things I was fearing about it. Because I think tumangalia stuff to break, as in your transactional approach for me is nikishaiona yake nita clock out because I know this is your job. But I'm also here to experience some level of care to me as an individual, not to client X or and so when inakuwa like una tick box fulani, like you're waiting to see like hizo ticks zinafaa zikuwe 5 na ngojea kutick ya 5 ndo ni diagnose alafu nikisha diagnose sasa nikupe. Personally I don't have, okay, hapa tutapigana na therapists across the world but part like the drugs for mental health, I know they work for some people, but I'm not sure it's the first thing we're supposed to go for. Like jamani.
Niko na swali.
Kidogo acha nimalize.
Pandora's box.
Because I know it will work because again your part like mental health is also a chemical aspect. Like the brain is an organ with electromagnetic things and chemical things going on. So if you introduce chemical aspects, a thing will happen. So a solution might come. But is this the best first solution to go for? So, because for me, therapy will work, but in the aspect of talking to someone, which is why like model Latin Flickers works for. Because unaingia tu, unaongea, unaulizwa maswali ngumu, unafikiria, unaichora, unaandika, like you're asking me the same things that therapy would have, but in a different way. And you're not expecting a certain result. You're expecting a certain aspect.
But let me just clarify. Kuna difference as psychologist na psychiatrist. So psychiatrist ndio atafanya hivyo, and it's not I don't know if it's because they're like doctors. That's why I don't like me kuitwa daktari, because you see you go, that's the same way you go to a doctor and they have to figure out ini kikohozi sijui tumbo, you know. That's what a psychiatrist does. So they will give you so ideally before you go to a psychiatrist unafaa kwenda kwa psychologist, because psychologist is geared towards talk therapy and that's their solution. Of course interventions be different but ni talk, so hata kuharakisha to any diagnosis, and we don't diagnose actually, we can do your test alafu tukutume kwa psychiatrist ndio sasa diagnose if we feel.
But sasa kuna aspect ya tunaongea ndo ni solve hiyo ndo stuff mistake, like this is nimekuja as a problem.
That needs a solution.
And I don't need a solution. But I need a way through. We are working together towards something. But it's not like we're supposed. I feel like for the therapists I experienced, na walikuwa kadhaa because ilikuwa like, let me give it a second chance. Narudi tena. This one wants me to be a square, as in you can see like they're leading me to something, and it's not you leading me, it's us working towards. Hata tujui ni nini tunaenda tuende. So for me that structure, there's like a structure that exists that was not working for me.
So how can we say it? What are some of the techniques or methods that someone will prefer, the same way you're saying, like you don't want you to lead me somewhere. Maybe you can tell us some of the techniques a therapist or suggest when someone goes to a therapist can be used, so that sisi wote tukue tunaelewana, and also for me to come again.
Yeah, okay. The question I had for Fiona and Lisa, it's how would an ideal therapy look for you? Because for me, I would probably do the same thing that was done. It will come clearly from her, because that's what I wanted to ask. Like, just briefly, ndo nijibu hiyo swali. How would an ideal, just in a few how would that process look for you? An ideal one for Fiona, how ungekaaje? If you'd come for therapy kwa Brian, ujui Brian, what would you expect an ideal therapy session to look like for you?
To probe more, like ask me more perspective about the things other than like kunile nye atakuliza swali then ujibu, then anatumia sasa their own bias of the answer, like to now ask you the other question, as in kuna line ya bias yenye it's supposed to be entirely about this client, like, and when that when that line is not there, like same example nini, same anasema my friends betrayed me and it really hurt me, and to them they don't even believe in friendship, so itakuwa like, so your friends betrayed you. To them it's already a confirmation, like, friends betray you, the fuck unajua sahi, and like you can see like you can see it in the next questions they're asking you. They're not asking you how you felt about this or they are asking you like, I don't know, I'm gonna get to the point.
I get you. So I think for me, based on Fiona's need, and I mentioned this before, most therapists probably, it's because some therapists haven't healed from their own traumas, and it still needs a lot of work. But for me, I think therapy, as Ivanna had mentioned, but for me to look like the willingness of the clients to be helped, that is the first thing. Because I think for Fiona's case, for me, what I'm picking is, I don't think Fiona was really asked if she really wants to go through other direction. She was not really welcomed to, do you want us to go through this? Because I think it first, what we call creating rapport. It's not just creating rapport, it's nataka to link na to a point. I want to understand and know you for who you are and not what I want you to be. Staki ni kukuje and I'll treat you like any client amekuja na let's say work issue. Most of them are just choosy because the previous client did the same. I think that's one of the most biggest mistakes we do, as most therapists do. We generalize issues and now we want to use that one shoe fits all. Mtu amekuja amekwambia mimi niko na trauma ya maybe childhood trauma. Be like, maybe ni wazazi wake wanampenda, maybe They came from a very secure family. The only problem was that secure family, the father was abusive to the younger child, and maybe that traumatized them. But what I feel like, they provide you with school, you went to a very good school, they were providing everything. If you are not listening to it, they'll tell you everything about how good that family is. But if the family is still a problem, I'm going to explain everything is good. That's not the conclusion. No, you haven't hit the problem yet. So I think it takes, again, practice, and it takes a lot of engagement to first get to know who your client ekuja kwako. Like, what do they want to come out of it? So that maybe nisikuja na preempt, like, umeambiwa uni client wa... I'm sorry if it will injure anyone, because I've seen this most of the time, GBV. And we take that directly to fit all GBV clients as experiencing abuse and being avoidant and being withdrawn from the community. Some of them are just engaging very well. But if I'm using the normal DSM-5 notes that killer traumatized or PTSD client has, that's not it. So it starts first by that initial contact. Yeah, kwanza, you rather use that at 2 weeks. Hata msianze session. Tumia 2 weeks. Tujuane tu kwanza. Like, let's just first put that foot down here. Fiona ni nani?
That would make a big difference.
Fiona ni nani? Because most people don't do that. And we want to check the box here. We go and I'm done. We say the next client. A good therapy for me, and I think that's how me I would do my session, is I want to take time with you. And Ivanna said it. It's knowing the client. And you see, you're not coming to me for me to solve. You're coming to me to hold your hands. Find it. It's your brain. Like, I don't know that topography. Mi sijui shamba inakaa aje. Mimi nimekuja kwa shamba na sijui gate iko wapi, mlango iko wapi. I'm also just getting in because you held my hand and brought me into your mind. So imagine the mind looks like this room and there are no doors. It's like a studio. And I'm in here with you. So my role is to know, by the way, this is up, this is down, this is left, this is right. Okay, so Shanza hapo. And also Fiona needs to know. So I'll first of all tell Fiona, okay, this is where we are. So that's why rephrasing and summarizing or paraphrasing next. So that I understand you're on the same channel. Tuko na the same place. This is the same brain it's chaotic. So we're starting to untangle it. Ile ni dirisha. Okay. So this is the door. Hapa ndio nyuma, hapa ndio juu, hapa ndio chini. So I can only do that when you tell me. I remember juu ilikuwa inakaa hivi, kwa maana strips 3. And I'm like, so that should be up. I can't know because it's not my brain. It's not my environment. So therapy for me looks like I'm getting into a new territory, but I want to guide you to find your way out of where you are in that. And it's not my brain. So the only person who can guide me within this brain ni wewe. And the only way I can know how you can guide me is first knowing huyu ni nani tunaongea naye na hii brain na. So I think if people could just look at it that way, I'm not giving you solutions. I'm just here to help you maneuver around hii shida, hii shamba hii iko na magogo. Tunaiplug aje pamoja so that ibaki ready to plant. Exactly.
So like I think what I've gotten from Fiona is she wants to be treated as a human, not as a puzzle.
The project.
Or a project.
An object. I'm a human being. Treat me as a human being. See, puzzle ina need kukua solved.
And I think that's why, for me, art, and let me just bring it back, I'm being selfish at this point. For me, art has been one of the best ways, and it gives you an avenue to, the same thing I would have asked you in therapy. We have 3, our needs usually 3. We evoke, we allow you to express, and then now you learn from it. So our role is basically just to, for instance, I can use this room. What do you see in this art? Or I can use an example. There's this piece of art I have in my house. Kina Fiona wamekuja. Everyone at Fiona atakwambia. Everyone I ask about what they see on that art.
Tuna vitu zake.
Fiona will tell you. They see. And it's the same art who Fiona ndio hii. But everyone who comes to my house, and I'll ask them, what do you see in this art? Na tuko hapo wote atakwambia. So to me that is art. I might be going through you see, that art is like an emotion. To me, it expresses something. It brings out something. So what I see and what I'll perceive and bring out and communicate, it translates to how I'm feeling or how I'm engaging with that art at that moment. So that art is just a channel to express to me, because one of my neighbors came and told me he saw a skull. Ile art yangu ya guitar. Like for him, he saw a skull. Thank you. That art doesn't even have a skull. Exactly. So you see, if someone can see a skull, that is someone whose brain probably is like there's a danger either. And when I talked to him, it was true. And everyone who asked that question usually asked for a reason. That piece of art is there for a reason. And there are two. The one thing you don't see, I'll ask on the next piece of art. And every time someone gives me a response, I can clearly pick, and they tested it. I can clearly pick what you're going through at that moment. So it's just like therapy. How, like, can I have a channel where emotions are like energy? Can I release it? How do I release it? Either way, itataka tu kutoka. Hata ufanye aje, itataka tu kutoka. Itatoka through resentment, anger, love. Izo. Itatoka. So it's how do you want it to come? Because they are emotions. So instead of building it to come to resentment, equal atomic bomb, in my head, how do you move it out? So it's therapy for me. We should look at that which is not defined and doesn't have a word, that emotion haina word. How do we define it? How do we give it a label that you're able to express it and for us to understand this trauma is an abuse that was done at this point. So that's the role of me looking at it. And if art can allow me just draw that and sing that or paint that or write that, I've expressed it. Without me mtu kuniuliza, how was your childhood? Was your dad taking care of you? Oh, your mom was not at home most of the time. You're not going to the... You see, all that can just be said by, I feel lonely. In an art. And how can I express that? The colors. It's a lot. So for me, therapy is, nika tu kusema physiotherapy. We are mending something. It is being mended. Like something has been distorted. We are mending it to see how it can come back to where it was. And my normal might not be where I was before. My normal will be now, how can I adapt to the current situation? It doesn't have to take me to where I was. It's like when probably I'm going through abuse. Nimepigwa home na demu yangu. Maybe demu yangu it doesn't change the fact that nitaenda nirudi place nilikuwa before. No. It just makes me know how can I adapt to, like, make myself feel worthy more so that I can get out of that situation. So it's again individualizing with the person, not generalizing.
That's nice. And I don't know why I was avoiding to call you Brian. We know Brius. That's why I opted Jude.
Tunaweza maliza.
Thank you so much. And nimekuwa na very nice session. I've learned a lot. This time, Kama, I'll just, you can tell us, give us a parting shot as we wind up. The conversation is so much interesting. This team again will create a time again. We come back for another series. So Kama?
Yeah, parting shot yangu iko hivi. Mimi I like testing things which people hold true. I've had conversations, especially kwa space ya GBV, where people start bringing resentment because I'm questioning things they hold as their Bible. I believe this. But hakunaga kitu mbaya kama having a belief that you don't want to be questioned. So as one of your mental health space, let us question. Let us allow questions. How can I do these things best? And that's why I love art. Art, or even forms of art, kila msanii anakuaga, okay, I did this performance this way. How can I improve on it for my next? So that the person who came for my last performance can also still enjoy the same performance because I've done it differently and better. So I think also kwa mental health space, you also need to be creative. I know tuko na limitations na mambo ya evidence based. We want something which is scientific, but nothing. Kila kitu ilianza somewhere. An idea came, it was concretized, and then it was tested after ilishaonekana like iko na something to work. But sometimes kwa hii space uko na very nice idea, mtu anakuambia no, where's the evidence? Sasa ndio unataka uanze. I want to test it. So I think also let's not be afraid. It's the mind. The mind is something which is beautiful. It is open. And mental health space Kenya bado ni young. So tusiweke dogmatic kama vile iko kwa the Western world where now every child is on medication because either they were running too much or not running too much. So if you run too much when you ADHD, if you don't run too much, unaambiwa. So I always equate them with a good childhood because everybody is looking at you and trying to put medicine in your mouth. So let's take this opportunity. See the young people kwa hii space.
Yeah.
Let's make, okay, number one, tuangalia mental health yetu, because one of the things that you worry about is a broken therapist breaking other people. So we kama therapist uko broken, go heal. Then come back, start doing therapy. Because if you are broken, because I'm kama expert, I come to you, I listen to you. Then you give me bad advice because una project. So you are making my life worse.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So na watu wale wenye kama mimi sipendi therapy, sijaienda. It's like I'm phobic. Maybe niko na hiyo phobia, I don't know. But because of hiyo phobia, I've started looking at how do I not end up kwa therapist chair. So wellness activities, making sure I know myself. Like for me, I know. Nikianza kusikiza rock music, metallic, I know niko kobaya. And that's the music nataka. Nishajua, my mind is not okay. The second thing, insomnia. Siku 3 sijalala, I know I'm... So already nishajua, I learned myself and I still continue to discover myself. And I think that's also important for me, people to know, because itasaidia therapists. Once you know,
Understand.
the more you know about yourself, the more utamsaidia to discover what you don't know. So that's my parting shot. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kama. Thank you so much, everyone, for the wonderful session you've had. What I can say ni kindly, just vile Ivanna amesema, let's go and see this therapy. It's a step. It's not someone anataka kuku change your life how it is. If you get someone who can talk to, who can shape your life vile hiko, that's a very big plus. Kwa sababu where we're going, it's tough times ahead, and we have to kuwa na shock absorbers.
Yes.
You absorb the changing times. Asante sana. See you next time. Bye bye.